I'm Lucy Beednell with the ARC of Northern Virginia. This 3-minute webinar is going to walk you through some basics of interactions between people with developmental disabilities and the justice system. It's important to understand people with developmental disabilities are significantly more likely to encounter the justice system than their typically developing peers. And this is true both as victims and as people who are arrested and charged with crimes. People with developmental disabilities who are convicted serve longer sentences than their typically developing peers. This is all especially true for people with developmental disabilities who are members of other marginalized communities, including people of color. Once people with developmental disabilities are in the justice system, navigating the rules and social skills required to get through that process can be incredibly difficult. So let's start by talking about prevention. One of the most important things you can do to prevent either victimization or another negative impact with the justice system is to have frank, open, frequent conversations, including developmentally appropriate sexual education. Make sure the person with a disability has a trusted network around them, a team of supporters. Utilize programs like supported decision-making so the person with a disability knows if something seems or feels strange to them, if someone treats them unusually, there's someone they can go to talk to that they trust, and they are in the habit of having those conversations. The empowerment and independence that comes from self-determination is a huge predictor in safety and independence. Make sure you create a 911 flag sheet, which can have a picture and some basics about the person with the disability for any first responders who may work with them. That can be life-saving and absolutely critical. Visit your local police station. Call your local police non-emergency line, and if you can practice making calls to 911 at a certain place or time, or otherwise get more comfortable with the process. If your loved one with a disability wanders, look into programs like Project Lifesaver and other programs that can help prevent wandering and help recover those who have been wandered away unsafely. Make sure that people with developmental disabilities and their loved ones know how to self-identify with first responders, how to immediately say, I am a person with a developmental disability. I may speak differently, communicate differently. I'm going to need some help. Please make sure I get the help that I need, and that they are practiced in asking for what that help is. Do they need someone else to be with them? Do they need questions to be repeated? Do they need a different kind of process? Now let's talk about what to do if a crisis does happen. Make sure in Virginia that you know your local crisis response team, which are called REACH. REACH teams can provide over the phone and on-site crisis response for people with developmental disabilities. Make sure you have copies of the person's developmental disability diagnosis and are able to readily share them with any first responders or police officers, attorneys, judges, etc., who are working with the person. Make sure that you are familiar with the Americans with Disabilities Act and are comfortable asking for accommodations that you may need. The justice system is 100% covered by the ADA. You hire a criminal defense attorney, ask about their expertise and experience working with people with developmental disabilities. Make sure they and you know laws that have passed in Virginia, a number passed in 2020, that for extra protections for people with developmental disabilities. And if arrested, create a personalized justice plan. You can learn more at thearcofnova.org, ask us questions at thearcofnova.org/answers, and look at our resource library for disability and justice guides for people with disabilities and their families and for their attorneys, with lots more details on the information we discussed here today. Stay well.